In 1997, a crime so brutal and shocking took place in Tennessee that it left the nation reeling. The Lillelid family, a peaceful and devout group, was murdered by 6 teenagers in a senseless act of violence. Today, we delve into the chilling details of this case that still haunts true crime enthusiasts. Picture a serene Sunday afternoon that turns into a nightmare. The Lillelids, Vidar, Delphina, and their 2 young children, Tabitha and Peter, were returning home from a religious convention. They made a quick stop at a rest area off Interstate 81 in Greene County, Tennessee. This ordinary stop led them into the path of 6 troubled teenagers with dark pasts. Vidar Lillelid, originally from Norway, was known for his kindness and strong faith. Delphina, his wife, was a devoted mother, and their children, Tabitha and Peter, were just beginning their lives. Their journey was cut tragically short. What caused these teenagers to commit such a brutal crime? How did a chance encounter turn into a horrific kidnapping and murder? And what happened in the aftermath? In this video, we'll explore the backgrounds of the Lillelid family and the 6 youths, the events of that fateful day, the investigation, and the impact of the crime. Join us as we uncover the layers of this tragic tale, examining the motives and actions that led to one of Tennessee's most infamous crimes. First, let's understand who the Lillelid family was and the backgrounds of the 6 perpetrators. The Lillelid family, originally from Norway, had built a peaceful life in Knoxville, Tennessee. Vidar Lillelid, the father, was known for his kind and gentle nature. He was deeply religious, an active member of the Jehovah's Witnesses, and devoted to his family. Delphina Lillelid, his wife, shared his faith and commitment to their family. She was a nurturing mother to their 2 young children, Tabitha, who was 6 years old, and Peter, who was just 2. The family was well liked in their community, embodying the values of faith, love, and togetherness. In stark contrast, the 6 youths involved in the crime had troubled backgrounds. Natasha Cornett, the ringleader, was a high school dropout with a history of drug use and violent behavior. She came from a broken home and had been involved in a series of minor crimes before the murders. Her turbulent life was marked by instability and rebellion against societal norms. Karen Howell, another member of the group, shared a similar background. She had run away from home multiple times and was deeply involved in drugs. Her troubled relationship with her family and her association with Cornett led her down a dark path. Dean Mullins and his girlfriend, Crystal Sturgill, both had histories of petty crime and substance abuse. Mullins was known for his aggressive behavior, and Sturgill often found herself in dangerous situations due to her association with him. Joe Risner and Jason Bryant, the final 2 members of the group, also had checkered pasts. Risner had a criminal record that included theft and assault, while Bryant, the youngest of the group at just 14 years old, had been heavily influenced by the older members and was easily manipulated into participating in the crime. This group of 6 came together through their shared sense of alienation and rebellion. Their lives were characterized by neglect, abuse, and a lack of stable family environments. Seeking escape and a sense of belonging, they found solace in each other's company, which ultimately led to their collective downfall. The contrast between the Lillelid family's peaceful existence and the chaotic lives of the 6 youths highlights the tragic collision of 2 vastly different worlds. As we delve deeper into the events of that fateful day, it becomes clear how this chance encounter at a rest stop led to one of the most shocking and brutal crimes in Tennessee's history. On April 6, 1997, the Lillelid family and the group of 6 youths had a fateful encounter at a rest stop in Greene County, Tennessee. Vidar, Delphina, and their 2 children, Tabitha and Peter, were returning home from a Jehovah's Witnesses convention. They decided to take a break at the rest area, unaware of the danger that awaited them. At the same rest stop, Natasha Cornett, Karen Howell, Dean Mullins, Crystal Sturgill, Joe Risner, and Jason Bryant were planning their escape from the state. The six had recently decided to leave their troubled lives behind in Kentucky and head to New Orleans in search of a fresh start. However, they lacked the means to do so, leading them to contemplate desperate measures. The two groups crossed paths when Vidar, ever the devout and friendly man, approached the youths and engaged them in conversation about their faith. What began as a casual interaction quickly turned sinister. The youths saw an opportunity in the Lillelid family's van, which was more reliable than their own vehicle. They decided to take it by force. Brandishing a gun, Jason Bryant forced the Lillelids into their own van at gunpoint. Vidar and Delphina were placed in the front seats, with Bryant maintaining control over them. The terrified children were put in the back with the rest of the youths. The family was driven away from the rest stop and into the remote countryside, far from any potential help. As they drove deeper into the rural areas of Tennessee, the Lillelids' fate grew increasingly dire. Vidar and Delphina pleaded for their lives and the lives of their children, offering the youths money and the van in exchange for their freedom. Their pleas fell on deaf ears. The six youths were determined to leave no witnesses behind. Eventually, they reached a secluded area near Payne Hollow Lane. Under the cover of the dense woods, the youths ordered the Lillelid family out of the van. Vidar, Delphina, Tabitha, and Peter were lined up on the ground, helpless and terrified. Despite Vidar's continued attempts to reason with them, the youths had made up their minds. Jason Bryant, the youngest of the group, took the lead. He shot Vidar first, followed by Delphina, who tried to shield her children. Both parents were shot multiple times. Bryant then turned the gun on the children, shooting 6-year-old Tabitha and 2-year-old Peter. The brutality of the murders was shocking, with each family member receiving several gunshot wounds. The sheer cold-bloodedness of the act was beyond comprehension. Believing they had left no survivors, the group stole the Lillelid's van and fled the scene, heading towards Mexico in a bid to escape the law. However, against all odds, Peter Lillelid, despite his critical injuries, managed to survive. He was found clinging to life at the scene and was rushed to the hospital. The gruesome scene left behind was a testament to the senseless violence that had occurred. The bodies of Vidar, Delphina, and Tabitha were discovered in the secluded area, and the extent of their injuries highlighted the sheer brutality of the attack. The contrast between the peaceful lives they had led and the horrific manner in which they were killed was stark. Peter's survival brought a glimmer of hope amidst the tragedy, but the trauma he endured was immense. The swift response from law enforcement set the stage for a nationwide manhunt to bring the perpetrators to justice. The six youths, now fugitives, faced the full force of a determined police effort to capture them and hold them accountable for their heinous crimes. This senseless act of violence not only shattered the Lillelid family, but also left a deep scar on the community and the nation. As the investigation unfolded, the true extent of the crime and the cold-blooded nature of the perpetrators became apparent, shocking all who followed the case. The immediate aftermath of the Lillelid murders saw a swift and intense investigation by local law enforcement. The crime scene was a gruesome sight, with the bodies of Vidar, Delphina, and Tabitha Lillelid lying in a secluded area, while little Peter was found clinging to life. The brutality of the murders galvanized the police into action, determined to bring the perpetrators to justice. Investigators quickly pieced together the events leading up to the murders. Witnesses at the rest stop recalled seeing the Lillelid family interacting with a group of six youths, providing crucial descriptions of the suspects and their vehicle. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation (TBI) launched a statewide alert focusing on tracking down the stolen van. As the investigation progressed, the van was spotted in Arizona just days after the murders. The six youths, Natasha Cornett, Karen Howell, Dean Mullins, Crystal Sturgill, Joe Risner, and Jason Bryant, were attempting to flee to Mexico. Their erratic behavior and the stolen van drew the attention of law enforcement. The Arizona Highway Patrol was alerted and swiftly intercepted the group near the Mexico border. The youths were apprehended without resistance and the stolen van was seized. Inside, police found evidence linking them to the crime, including personal belongings of the Lillelid family and the murder weapon. The capture of the six youths marked a significant turning point in the investigation. They were extradited back to Tennessee to face charges of first degree murder, kidnapping, and other related offenses. The severity of their crimes and the nationwide attention the case garnered ensured that their trial would be closely watched. In custody, the youths initially showed little remorse, their statements cold and detached. The stark contrast between their behavior and the gravity of their actions further fueled public outrage. The investigation continued to build a strong case against them, compiling forensic evidence, witness testimonies, and their own confessions. As the trial approached, the details of the case painted a grim picture of a senseless and brutal crime. The collaborative efforts of multiple law enforcement agencies ensured that the perpetrators were brought to justice, providing some measure of closure to the grieving family and community. The swift investigation and capture of the perpetrators highlighted the effectiveness and dedication of law enforcement in solving such a heinous crime. However, the psychological scars and the community's sense of loss would linger long after the arrests, a somber reminder of the brutal Lillelid murders. The trial of Natasha Cornett, Karen Howell, Dean Mullins, Crystal Sturgill, Joe Risner, and Jason Bryant began in March 1998 and was a major event, drawing significant media attention. The courtroom was filled with emotional testimonies, graphic evidence, and the haunting presence of the surviving victim, Peter Lillelid. Prosecutors presented a compelling case detailing the premeditated nature of the crime and the cold blooded actions of the six youths. Forensic evidence, including the murder weapon and belongings found in the stolen van, solidified the prosecution's argument. Witness testimonies from the rest stop and the surviving members of the Lillelid family painted a vivid picture of the events leading to the murders. The defense attempted to portray the youths as products of broken homes and troubled backgrounds, arguing for leniency based on their difficult upbringings. However, the jury was unmoved by these arguments, focusing instead on the brutality and senselessness of the crime. After a month-long trial, the jury found all six defendants guilty of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and other related charges. The sentences handed down were severe. Natasha Cornett, Karen Howell, Dean Mullins, Crystal Sturgill, and Joe Risner received life sentences without the possibility of parole. Jason Bryant, despite being only 14 years old at the time of the crime, was also sentenced to life in prison, reflecting the gravity of his involvement. The verdict and sentences provided a sense of justice for the Lillelid family and the community, but the psychological scars remained deep. The trial's outcome underscored the seriousness with which the justice system treated such heinous acts, sending a clear message that senseless violence would not go unpunished. The Lillelid murders had a profound impact on the community and the nation. The brutal nature of the crime and the young age of the perpetrators shocked and horrified the public. Vigils and memorials were held to honor the Lillelid family, and the surviving member, Peter Lillelid, became a symbol of resilience and tragedy. The case also sparked intense discussions in true crime circles and among the general public. Debates about the influence of troubled backgrounds on criminal behavior, the effectiveness of the juvenile justice system, and the nature of evil were reignited. True crime enthusiasts analyzed every detail of the case, from the psychological profiles of the perpetrators to the procedural aspects of the investigation and trial. Books and documentaries were produced exploring the depths of the Lillelid murders and their implications. The case became a staple topic in true crime forums, with discussions often focusing on the motivations of the six youths and the societal factors that may have contributed to their actions. The Lillelid murders also had a lasting impact on law enforcement and legal proceedings in Tennessee. The case highlighted the need for better intervention and support systems for troubled youths, as well as more stringent measures to prevent such crimes in the future. It served as a grim reminder of the potential for violence that exists within society and the importance of vigilance and community support. For the families and friends of the victims, the pain of the loss was immeasurable. The community rallied around Peter Lillelid, offering support and love as he grew up without his parents and sister. The memory of Vidar, Delphina, and Tabitha Lillelid continued to be honored through various community initiatives and memorials. The Lillelid murders remain one of the most shocking and brutal crimes in Tennessee's history. The senseless killing of a peaceful, devout family by six troubled youths left a lasting scar on the community and the nation. Through swift investigation and thorough legal proceedings, justice was served, but the emotional and psychological impact endures. As we remember the Lillelid family, we are reminded of the fragility of life and the importance of community support in preventing such tragedies. The story of the Lillelids and the six youths who destroyed their lives serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of violence and the need for compassion and intervention. If you found this video informative and want to hear more true crime stories, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you detailed and engaging content. Thank you for watching and stay safe.